This is the Party Poker Premier League Poker from the M Resort in Las Vegas.
We're gonna fucking dance.
Don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. Yeah!
It's been a battle between poker's greatest players.
You've declared war, I've accepted your terms.
It's good, it's fucking good, and that's what I'm talking about. I waited, I trapped him, I checked behind, I free bet, I did everything right, and if it's a jack or a 10, something's getting broken.
They each strive for a top league finish, and egos were bruised as players were knocked out of the running.
This deal is just incredible. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I haven't won one hand.
Oh, God, dang.
But I'm gonna punish you, I promise.
This has been the greatest Premier League yet.
That's kind of weird.
At least you put your money where your mouth was.
And we are about to reach the climax of Season 4 as the cards go back in the air for this legendary final table.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
After 6 grueling heats, the final lineup is now complete. The players taking their seats are WPT champion Phil, the Unabomber Laak, who has won 3 out of his 4 heats.
This is the Premier League's 4th year. It's a super prestigious tournament. Coming in first would be huge. Even though second is like crazy money and you can buy a house with that kind of money, people really don't remember second. It's like crazy. People remember first. I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will.
Winner of 4 WSOP bracelets, Daniel Negreanu. He had a rough start and had to win a heads-up match to get this final seat.
You know, obviously, I play poker now for titles. It's not about the money for me, it's about winning. This would be a feather in my cap. The prize money would put me back in the lead in terms of the all-time money lead, and that's something I play for. That's why I play poker.
Oh, when I saw you grab him, I went like this in my mind.
Winner of WPT and WSOP bracelets, David Benyamine. He had a strong performance in his Premier League and won a heat to make this final table.
Each time I play, whether I play for small money or bigger money or a tournament or a bigger one, I'm always trying to give my best.
That's pretty cute.
Triple Crown winner Roland de Wolfe had to win a heads-up bout to win his seat.
I'm ecstatic to make the final. Really, I'm really pleased because this is history in the making for the Premier League. 3 consecutive finals and the most amount of finals ever to be made in the Premier League, and what a tough way to do it.
I should have got a Phil Laak as a knit, but do not pay him off t-shirt.
Online qualifier Giovanni Safina. He qualified for $100, won the online final, and went on to shake up this Premier League.
When I took part in the €100 qualifier, I only did it to come here and win. One thing is to dream, and quite another to succeed. But here I am today. Winning would be fantastic for me, my family, my son, everybody.
I'm talking about Giovanni.
Online trash talker Luke Full Flush Schwartz has been a dominant force at the table this season and has now made 4 consecutive TV finals.
This final's got a few bigger names, but I'm not worried about anyone. I'm worrying about myself, and I'm gonna win it, and that's all that matters. Such a donk you are.
From the M Resort in Las Vegas, tonight we find out who will be crowned Premier League champion. Here's what happened on the final table last time out.
Phil Laak was the chip leader, but despite winning 3 out of his 4 heats, he has struggled at this final table. David Benyamine took him on. Laak called with Queen 5 and flopped trips. Then, after a raise and a call on the flop and turn, Benyamine knocked the Unabomber from top spot with a flop. He folded! He snapped, folded! Phil, he snapped, folded! And Benyamine showed it! And Phil Laak, that hurts! A very outspoken Luke Schwartz wasn't quiet for long when he raised with King 10. This 3-way pot with Negreanu and Laak was checked on the flop. But with a flush draw on the board for both Schwartz and Negreanu, we were guaranteed some action. On the river was flush against flush for the infamous pair, and the pot stacked up.
10 of spades? Wow, this kid's been Schwartz, man.
I feel like I've been owned this hand. I'm gonna bow to him at the end of it and just say, here, you did well, my boy.
Oh.
Daniel was not outplayed here. I mean, Luke got lucky.
But Schwartz, full flush, he's picking it up. Well, they've played 3 levels at this final table so far. The big story, all 6 players still in. Luke Schwartz has grabbed a hold of the chip lead. Phil Laak and David Benyamine started as the chip leaders. They've settled down into the pack. But with the blinds at 5 and 10,000, nobody is in too secure a position, and you know that there's plenty more big hands to come, and it'll take superb play to win it.
I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will.
I don't fold, but for 10,000 so I can move up like Laak?
The fuck is that flop?
Come on now.
All right, count your money.
But I haven't made a mistake all tournament. How could it do this to me?
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's a good flop.
Wow, that was pathetic.
Joined by Phil Hellmuth throughout this final table. Just barely missed out on his seat himself. Lines 5 and 10,000, and the chip values on the table. Yellows, brown, and the whites worth 10K a piece. Laak's limped in here under the gun.
What else do we know?
Unorthodox final table play.
What else do we know? And I did some of it on the turn. When did Luke have when I had the A7?
Fold.
Jack 10 of spades, I showed you.
Just the makeup of the small blind from Schwartz.
Okay, let's see the flop.
Check.
4, 5, 8. That one. What did Daniel have then?
Now, I mean, even though Schwartz is the chip leader, Phil, like everybody has reasons to feel happy about the way the first levels went. Could have gone a lot worse for like every player.
Yeah, everybody. And here's a situation where Phil Laak is going to bet his threes. He's not going to like the result.
Feels so much like you finally did limp strong, huh? Like you got aces or kings or something. I hope you do. I don't care. I mean, what's the difference? It doesn't have nothing to do with my hand. My hand's like, you know, here a little, I'm a little here, a little there. You know, what are you doing, 17%, 14? Call.
Oh, Phil Laak's got to hate the fact he's been called here.
Yeah, and I mean, Laak a lot of times shuts down here, and then maybe Daniel will miss and take it away on the river. Is that what you see kind of happening
could
here?
Easily happen. Oh my God, he hit the three. And Daniel figured out that Phil was weak.
Right, and he's leading in here. That's just a miracle card for Laak.
Wow. Who now snap called with a set in case Daniel has a straight, and also trapping. It's a two-way play. Deuce of hearts would be horrible for Daniel.
That, a great card for Daniel.
Great card for Daniel.
And poor Laak is going to just get bottled up. I mean, was raising on the turn, it looks like he should have done it now, but overall, might not have been a great play, right?
I didn't mind a raise in a turn this time. The board was just so draw heavy. I don't mind the call, though.
Right.
But I don't mind the raise in the turn here.
Check.
Got the flush.
And what a weird check. I mean, what a really weird check. Explain it to me, Phil.
I don't understand the check. I really don't understand it.
I didn't think he would raise.
Danny, you want to talk?
I did win the buy. I thought there's possibility he had a flush.
I'm back. No, I'm steaming inside him.
By the way, if you go out last would be unbelievable.
Be very believable. Who's driving the ship here, you know? The guy that can do it.
Maybe Laak saved money there. Daniel's explanation that he was never getting called.
Dormancy made.
Fold. Raise to 28.
Good hand for Benyamine to have on the button. And trouble for de Wolfe.
Yeah, and here's the problem: is they all know how loose de Wolfe's been playing, so.
Wow.
Good lay down, de Wolfe.
Strong de Wolfe.
Now de Wolfe was, to me, part of that lay down was lucky too, because if that hand comes up when Roland was playing every hand, he's going to lose 50, 60,000. It's just so happened to come after the break. Because he's going to re-raise and Benyamine's going to move in on him.
Safina going to take the flop. He needs a queen. A king is a disaster. Wonder, Benyamine a lot of times checks these flops behind. But, And now you got to bet it?
Well, I mean, Safina might bluff here, and then he gets to call.
Totally different kind of poker when this is high, huh?
61,000 out there.
Check.
Wow, David is just taking this to the trapping limit. He just doesn't want a queen on the river. Oh, it's a queen on the river. That sucks.
He's,
he checked himself into a loss there.
yeah, I mean, well, it was only 3 outs, but it could have been 6. I don't know.
Bet 40,000.
Now what do you do?
Now he has to. He just has to somehow say, you know, he's in his mind he has to say, I don't like the way I played this, I'm just going to get away. I let him hit a queen, and now I'm going to get away. Because it's not likely Safina bet 40 on a bluff.
It was almost like, you know, the fact that he checked twice there meant that he kind of thought Safina had like a pocket pair or something, you know, that Safina had him beat anyway. I mean, was he? So
He's playing different against the qualifier than the rest of the guys. Everybody else is kind of attacking qualifier, you know?
And Safina shows the, I think he showed the queen there.
Yeah.
Takes the pot.
And David's sick. He's like, what was I thinking? What was I doing?
For me?
Yeah.
No, I'm upset. I
I
didn't
think he
bet
was
the
upset
turn.
that the queen came.
Bet the turn. Yeah. What was your lowest card? King.
What was your lowest card, Roland says?
I'm genius.
I just thought it was not a big deal. If he catches an ace or a king, I think it could be good for me. That's why I didn't bet.
It's just the queen ball.
Fold.
I was a little right. Not
Fold.
really.
Fold.
28.
It's not like you have a bluff catcher.
The last 6 days more.
It's kind of interesting idea, though. He thought maybe Safina had one of his cards, and he was right about that, and that would have. He's a clever guy. Is de Wolfe going mad with the deuce seven?
Then an average.
And Safina's popping him up.
Sit and go things up.
Giovanni.
And the switch.
Look at Luke. He has to fold.
Yeah.
He has to fold. De Wolfe is like.
I mean, now that's the problem. Safina was on the break, and he read that Roland had nothing all those hands, and now ace-10 suited takes a totally different context.
And Schwartz is saying to Roland right now, bruv, if he didn't re-raise you, I was gonna.
Nah, I had the worst hand I had on the button so far.
Well, see, now Roland has to make the proper adjustments. I mean, you know, this is like the second half. Let's go back to that analogy. It's the second half of a ball game again here, and you have to make the right adjustments.
And if you weighted big pots.
Here comes Benyamine. Don't dust any off, Roland.
Fold it.
Fold.
Luke looks interested. What's he got?
Fold.
He's got nothing. Is this just a timing play? I mean,
45 more.
what's it about?
It's just a pure bluff. I mean, he just feels like he can get Benyamine to fold, and he did get Benyamine to fold.
Mr. B to you, son.
He loves doing that. Re-raise with deuce 5 offsuit and stick it to him, innit?
Stick it to him, isn't it?
That's crazy. His timing has been good today. I mean, when it goes wrong, it's going to go horrible. But it's been. He did get called down the one time by
Captain
Ben.
can't hear my whistle. I'm like, no, over here, the dock's right here. Come, pull up. Fold.
I think somebody's going to get all their chips in the next 6, 7 hands. It's, you know, the money starts getting out there. Somebody picks up something. You got to ship it. Unless you're Benyamine. Call.
And that's the problem with the way de Wolfe was playing. I mean, now he can only call with the 8s. No one will give him credit if he raises.
Boy, he's really set mining here too, because how is he going to win this pot without an 8?
Check. Bet 20,000.
Luke has got him. And when Luke calls here, will it look a lot like 3-10s, or does it look like something else?
Oh, if Luke just calls, I mean, he can't do it. He just feels like he has to raise it.
Raised to 65,000. Fold and fold. You pass me that.
And
That was part of his.
well, Roland didn't mess around there. Why did Luke raise? Just maybe Roland has a king. Just
maybe Roland has 2 outs, you know, and or maybe Roland, maybe Roland has
maybe
a king.
has 8 outs.
Maybe he has a straight draw or a flush draw.
I can't show every bluff.
know.
Yeah, you can. You can, you know, that's the thing about it. You can do it. Most people
I
can't.
get no credit, and David will just pound me back.
Schwartz is now encroaching on $500,000. Is he pulling away from this field?
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, he's also he's playing really well. He's had a few hands, which has helped him, but.
Fold. Fold.
Giovanni.
Fold.
My friend.
Fold.
Roland better be careful here. He get himself moved in on here.
Yeah. He's actually, Giovanni's kind of tortured him a little bit tonight, hasn't he?
Raise to 30,000.
Oh, God, he's...
Giovanni could ship it out of here.
He's going to be sick, isn't he?
Yeah, Giovanni's not folding now, so. It's probably his best move just to ship it here.
Just, is it too much of his stack? I mean, can you just ship in 200K right now? You know what I mean? That, and yet he should have.
Roland.
Yeah.
I mean,
We don't really get pots with more than 100K, you know.
It's too hard. Everyone knows about the cliff theory, you know?
De Wolfe
Well,
doesn't
on this
need
type
to
of
hit.
format
He
where it goes
needed
50, 70,
Safina to miss,
might as well,
and he hasn't.
So,
Safina just flopped top of his own.
yeah, exactly.
100's almost the same. 200, 400.
Exactly.
The same. You know, normal people.
This
think
is
of
going to
like
go
insane,
all
and then they're
wrong.
like, that's 3 years of
Is he going to find a call here?
I mean, if Safina can find a call here,
And it comes
it
to
would
queen.
be brilliant.
What if it comes to queen?
What if it comes to 4 and Roland hits a 2 out there?
No one's going to remember.
I think Safina's going to raise it up. He doesn't want to take a chance here.
Yeah.
Raise
Big pot
all
anyway.
Fold.
Poor Roland. This is what I was afraid might happen to Roland. He came back from playing all those hands.
What do you have, Jack
He
and a
needs
diamond?
to play super tight, and he's just not making the adjustments.
And
Up to 400
Roland has
as well,
done
Roland.
everything wrong ever since the break.
yeah. 75 hands, De Wolfe. How quickly they fall, Phil.
It's unbelievable. One bluff away from 500K. Schwartz hasn't been afraid to make that one bluff, and so far he hasn't been called.
Before I just did it kind of offhandedly here and there, but now I'm trying to focus on it, you know?
People wonder why he talks so much. It's his power, isn't it? It just, he gets so much power from talking.
He does. I mean, it is powerful for him to talk, you know.
Raise 20,000.
And
Fold.
the min raise feels strange from Safina. You know, everyone's talking about how he's always sticking in the big raise.
Fold.
Is it really strong? Is it really weak? Benyamine's got an idea.
Fold.
Do you think something would happen?
Well, he had the min raise. He did put the min raise in. He put the min raise in when he had ace king over the top of Daniel with ace queen in one of the, in like the second one of these. See if David can find a little bet here.
You know, there's 60,000 out there, Phil. Does it get to a stage where you got to make a play at this pot? Someone's got to make a play at this pot. You know, what's your best chance? At some point, you got to make a play at something, right?
And there's the Wolf's card of 7, which David Benyamine might bet.
Bet 10,000. Call. Fold.
David's like, yeah.
Heads up.
Fishy sort of bet. I mean, whose hand has been exposed here? De Wolfe's or Benyamine's? Says Roland got the 7. That's like the biggest pot he's won since the break.
I mean, that pot had 80,000 in it, right?
Massive. It was massive. It's all fun and games here in Las Vegas, but who will take the big pot and win the Premier League? More action at the end after the break.
Welcome back to the final table of the Party Poker Premier League Poker Season 4. 6 players remain, and it's all still to play for, so let's get the cards in the air.
Laak and Benyamine there on the ends of the table. They were the chip leaders after a great Premier League season.
Well, they have slipped, given way to Schwartz, Safina, and Negreanu.
It's a little bit harder for me because this ledge
For Benyamine, it's pretty slim pickings.
Doesn't happen.
Now let's see how Benyamine plays this hand against the qualifier.
He's made it 25.
That's what I mean, it's going to turn into another scrap.
This is nice play by Safina, isn't it? Unless he gets shoved off it.
What do you have?
You raise.
Which chip do you have?
80,000.
I have the same
You know,
exact.
Benyamine's only got 187.
I think David has about the same. Luke has a little more. Daniel has a little more.
Yeah,
The
Safina's got over
qualifier!
400K.
Come on, man. This is supposed to.
The Italian stallion.
This is supposed to show who the best player is.
He's doing the business, Phil.
Fold. Fold.
28.
Raised to 28,000.
You want to win, you're going to have to risk going out first.
It's true. I mean, you have to go for it a little bit. There's no doubt about it. I mean, but the blinds are a little bit too small to be going for it now.
Big owning station. Good, I'm saying good things. Positive.
When you say that, sort of the idea is that right now, actually, the 3-bet is more valuable than the open, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
Thanks.
I mean, Negreanu right there.
You already know, like,
coulda,
on the river, it's
coulda.
already gonna be a good check
He
call.
could have. I mean, he could have.
You
But
feel
you
it
know,
coming?
Daniel
Good
plays the
old-
flops
good
with a lot of
old-fashioned check
skill.
call,
So
my friend Roland.
I'm probably going to bet the flop.
I am?
I'm probably going to bet the
Oh,
flop.
you probably will, yeah.
Especially that flop.
Check.
That's way too good a flop.
34,000.
It's a big bet to call. Is there a shove? Is it silly? Is it too much of a chance? Get a read off him, Daniel. What do you say?
Well, no, I mean, forget shove. I mean, the minute that he called, he's going to get two more
just hit
free
that
cards.
flop,
But
maybe.
Yeah.
if Daniel
You just
could
go
have
with two
known,
random
I mean,
cards,
if he
man.
knew what the
Spam
Wolf's
that.
cards were, he would have raised 34,000.
Check.
Wow, Roland, just give up. You just give up.
Well, it's a very draw-heavy board, right? I mean, there's a straight draw and a flush draw out there, and Roland, you know, if he gets gutsy and bets 70,000, he wins.
Check.
There's too much money in there for it to go check, Phil.
Now Daniel needs to fire and take it.
Check.
10 high.
Check.
Ace high.
Wow! Wow, what's going on? What's going on?
And Daniel feels sick right now. He's like, I can't believe that I let him win that $120,000 pot.
Oh, man.
So sick.
Just so sick that you're going to go out first. This is the scariest thing, right?
Pull the trigger.
I don't care if I go out first. I'll never go out first anyway. I'm 500k, mate.
Yeah, but it's so sick how everyone keeps staying in.
I don't care.
How bad are you?
I can't do it.
My first to speak, so to speak. I fold. This hand I fold, Phil Hellmuth.
Fold. Fold. Raised to 20,000.
Little small ball. You know, are the blinds too big for small ball, or is it
No.
all fine? It's all fine.
Change. Two browns.
So scared for Daniel after the flop here. It's Benyamine there,
So
you
sick how
know.
the short stacks keep coming back.
Heads up.
Benyamine hasn't been making all that many great reads though so far in this
No, he
match.
hasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like a little
Check.
20-20
My
and
prediction
then make it.
is like someone's going to raise up
Check.
with like 2 jacks. You're going to see ace 9 or ace 10. And just
Diamond
chip it,
draw.
and they're going to snap you, and you're
I've
going
been waiting for an
to
ace.
miss and go out.
That's
Missing
great.
go out. No,
Benyamine
I
has
can good with
queens
those
and a
30%
flush
levels.
draw. He almost can't lose his pot.
Special team.
Bet 30,000. Fold.
What happened? Shortest stack got more chips.
No fun for Negreanu.
When in doubt, the shortest deck.
And look at this. You're not going to believe this, but Laak and Benyamine are now at the bottom.
Wow. Nobody's been knocked out, and yet they started at the top. What's happened? What's happened to them?
They started at the top, and now they're at the bottom. Well, David Benyamine, you know, probably played. If he could make a few good reads, he might have 400,000 or 500,000. And Phil Laak, I mean, it's hard to say what happened to him. I mean, I think that Roland outplayed him several big pots.
One of the points heats. Gotta get points. This isn't the final.
But laying down those 3-5s, that was a destroyer. That was a destroyer. Yeah.
Yeah, the 3-5s. I mean, if he calls with the 3-5s, who knows how many chips Phil Laak would have right now. He might be up to 700,000 by now.
Raised to 35,000.
Giovanni feeling his oats right now, isn't he? I mean, he's not far from the chip lead, putting pressure on these guys.
I just want to call. Say well.
So it makes it inviting for me.
Wow.
It's like, how can you fold that? And then Roland's thinking, with my chips out, can I call?
I don't blame him for holding the Queen 10 suited.
Right,
I think Daniel might have called with Queen 10 suited, though.
That's 22,000.
Finally, he's after the qualifier a little bit. Now, the qualifier's going to have to lay this one down.
He's having a little look over there. Why? What's he saying? What are you doing?
Well, every move he's made at Benyamine has worked, so.
He's cleared his throat. Perhaps it was to say fold.
Every pot, that's going to change these chips. It's like,
that's the David Benyamine that I know.
He's getting in there and tussling.
You got the best hand, and just go ahead and fire it and take it, you know? I mean, 4 guys in the 200s. 200s, Jesse. What is going on here?
Yeah, the blinds are 7 and 15. What's the average stack now? It's under 20 big blinds, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
What is? Come on, Laak. What do you got left? Get in there, baby.
Laak can't mess around. Everybody came over the top of him, so he had to play super tight.
And the biggest problem for Laak is he decided to play super tight, and now he's gone completely card dead, hasn't he? Little raise here?
Can't even call.
Fold.
Oh, it's a limp hit.
Option.
Yeah, Benyamine's just thinking, you know, I mean, he's just thinking, they've been re-raising me so often, I'm just going to try limping. It turns out that he is, you know, Safina just dead
becoming
here.
boring or something.
And he's trying to get in pots with Safina, I guess. Just
Not really.
No?
I mean, you would have thought that, but he really hasn't played it that way. Now he's in a great position against Safina, so he could bust Safina this hand. Actually, he doesn't have Safina covered.
It's funny, Phil. I mean, Giovanni obviously can't pass, but this may be the one thing he's done throughout this Premier League is when a lot of guys would call, he kind of raises and makes the pot big, don't he? Uh-oh.
Benyamine's going all in. I mean, I would hate to see him lay this down.
Roland, you enjoy that?
That's why you limp in with the king-jack suited on the button, is to trap the guy when he flops a king. Now, you know, he has him. David has him where he wants him. Ah, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him raise there. He's giving him a free shot at a 3, but you know, he also doesn't really want to club.
How strong, how weak does that check look to Benyamine? Does he know where he's at? Is he trying to bluff here?
It's 50,000.
Or is he getting value out of the kicker? I mean, what is it?
I mean, Safina has to fold here, but you never know when.
Safina has to fold because there's not much that David could have called that big raise with.
Right. I mean, the flush draw hit. I mean, what's he beating? He's only beating Benyamine if Benyamine has a 7. But he comes from the internet, and he might just think that, wow, a king's good. But he should know better after playing with us for a week that a king's no good here.
And you know, Benyamine's seen all those tricks before, move your chips around, stuff like that. He's just, there's no way he's giving any indication off. He's just waiting. And as the time goes on, is he getting a read on Safina?
No idea.
No idea. That's how sick it is.
No clue. I'm not even going to pretend to know.
Good lay down? Perhaps it was. Certainly was.
Sure, it was a good lay down.
Like late. Just stay here for now and then just run sick in every race. It will eventually come when we're four-handed.
Somebody has to win, right?
Like your final hit?
They play until they get a winner, right? Somebody has to win. Is it?
Yeah.
They still do it like that? The Premier League?
this like the biggest case you've ever seen of someone trying to move up a spot in a tournament?
Yesterday when I didn't turn up?
Yeah, when he left.
No, but I mean in like a final
Roland's
table.
needling Phil Laak about folding every hand, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know what a final table's like. This is my first one.
I think he's needling me.
Yeah, you made an invitation like the celebrity thing, right?
1901. That's right. I won $18.40 and a coupon to Chuck E. Cheese's.
So fun to have the big blind.
Huh? It's so fun to have the big blind?
Yeah, so we can always call this.
You see a flop at least.
And Benyamine has
Fun to see
Negreanu
flops.
again. Negreanu has 9-8 suited again.
And look how big this pot is, Phil. I mean,
Why? Oh, for
there's
calling?
83,000 in here. These guys aren't playing so deep here. You know, there's what, double pot bets, and that's it.
That's 40,000.
What can Daniel do right now? Is he thinking about taking a shot?
No, he's calling. He thinks the 8's good. I mean,
He's only got 175,000 back.
I know. I mean, an 8 pairing the board would be a miracle for Daniel because David will probably go with it. But
Check.
Check.
And it's gone check. Negreanu's still got the outs.
oh, he did it again!
God.
God, is he lucky?
Oh, God.
Oh my God, that's so lucky. That's so sick. Oh.
And if Benyamine doesn't really believe Negreanu can bluff here, he's got to fold.
That's 60,000.
I wonder if Negreanu was bluffing even if he didn't hit.
I don't think that was his plan. I mean, I think he was preferred to just, check it down.
Tough spot for David Benyamine. Everything hit.
I mean, he
Spades.
probably has to call here. I mean, the way he played the hand was to call with an ace on the river, and he did it.
2 pair.
That's crazy.
That's a big pot. That's a big pot. What? I mean, it looks so much like Negreanu was just like bleeding chips there, Phil. How did he do it?
I mean, he was bleeding chips. I mean, Daniel is a very lucky guy. I mean, come on. I mean, he's going to be down to 170,000, and the big favorite to go out next.
But I did want to go 3, yeah? Except me, I have less than...
Right now, they're encouraged to gamble because you should be playing to win, and so it's become obvious to me they all think playing to win is to play super tight, which I'm not going to disagree with, but some people think playing to win is playing super loose and super aggressive.
Negreanu's now got a few chips to burn. All of a sudden, he's on like 40 BBs.
Fold. Re-raise.
See? I knew he was going to win. Why not even play?
And you mean went all in with the ace of spades?
You can't help it though.
Automatic.
I couldn't. I had a good hand.
Yeah.
I had ace king.
You couldn't help it.
Ace of clubs, king of spades. I had you? Or a bad fold. I had an ace though.
I know you couldn't help it.
At ace 7.
No, you didn't.
The spread's looking serious as Laak under 200K for the first time. Schwartz has stamped his authority on this final table, but so much class, so hard to predict.
We're going to have such a fun final table. You've got so many fun players. David Benyamine is a great player. What a fantastic high living and high limit poker player this guy is.
I think Roland is a good poker player, and he's been improving a lot. He's been playing with having a goal, you know, and I kind of like that attitude.
Everyone at home will know Daniel Negreanu, and he's been a great addition to the league, and he's like me, come through the hard way.
You know, the qualifier, Giovanni Safina, played a lot better than everyone thought. I did find a couple chinks in his armor, though, and I'm going to look to exploit that at the final table.
I think Phil Laak is a really entertaining player for TV, just what he says. He's done brilliantly this Premier League to just, you know, obliterate the league.
We have some of the best chat specialists ever. Luke Schwartz and Roland de Wolfe and Negreanu love to chat. I love to chat.
Luke Schwartz is, you know, a real talent. He's a very good no-limit hold'em player.
Basically, it should only be one winner. It should be me. I'm the best player here. It would be a joke if I don't win.
You know, it's all entertainment. What a final this is.
Join us for more final table action after the break. Welcome back. Well, it's all been happening. It's just that the only thing that hasn't been happening is the exits. Sunglass is up and down.
Yeah. Like,
Phil Laak, can you move in, please?
You wanted me to make a big.
I wouldn't
been a
mind if
great
you raised.
final
You don't
table.
have to have aces, you know? So I'm going to gamble there with the kings. I'd take a shot.
with that hand.
Schwartz still feels like he's the man,
Squeeze your ring the whole
Phil.
way.
The
You're
man
on
to
dormancy,
take this
you're not
down.
even gonna use it. You're just,
If I get, no.
you're just on it.
They're kind of torturing Phil Laak. The last thing he wants to hear right now is anything
Laak wins the spot.
at all.
Write it down.
He's stuck.
The only time Benyamine doesn't fuck the flop, Laak's gonna win.
Ooh, Laak's got it. And he's playing this careful, Phil.
Of course he's playing careful. I mean, wow, and David finally hit a card on him. Wow.
And you could never figure Benyamine to have an ace here, could you?
No,
It
no.
just
So
looked-
David's going to bet.
Nobody played.
And Laak picked up a flush draw. David does not want a club here, obviously. That's a great card for Benyamine.
God, I wonder if Benyamine has to bet again.
He does.
Well, Laak's good. 8 something. 8 jack.
King.
Benyamine.
Did he think Phil was
Benyamine, no value bet ace.
that Phil couldn't have an 8 there because, or he would never call with an 8, or?
Laak, you're on the short.
It makes. I don't like the way David Benyamine played that hand. He's supposed to bet the river,
Yeah.
and I'm just especially because he bluffed Phil Laak with ace-10 earlier, so Phil is going to call him. You know, Phil's going to call him. So I would have bet like 40, 50, 60,000, something like that.
Especially when the king came, it was protection against Phil having an
higher
ace,
kicker.
right?
Yeah. I mean, what did he? I mean, it only makes sense for him to check if Phil Laak had a 9.
Yeah.
No folding.
And Phil Laak check raised with a 9 last time.
I don't understand it. Benyamine is like the last guy in the world who would ever miss a value bet if he thought there was one. So what was he thinking?
Yeah, I don't like that. That was, was a bad check.
I mean, he finishes everything on his plate and he gets all the value bets. This is
Please, somebody have an explosion. Hand versus hand clash like in poker. You're supposed to.
They don't have anything.
Now Daniel has a king jack, hoping for a king.
He has limped in this exact position so many times, Phil. Roland's big blind, Benyamine small
So Benyamine
blind.
has the best hand here, and now Daniel hit a jack on him. So I mean, Benyamine needed to avoid a 8 or a jack.
This must be the 4th or 5th time Negreanu has limped from the cutoff. I mean, what's the idea?
He's hoping that, comes a jack and a 4, and he's got king 4. I mean, like it did come. He's hoping. The reason why I limp in with hands like king jack or king queen is because I want to give myself a chance to flop top pair with a kicker and have somebody else. So maybe the blind has 8-9, and maybe it comes king 9 deuce, and now I'm going to get some money.
Right.
Even better, I have king queen, and someone has king 4, and it comes king 9 deuce. You know.
Okay. I mean, it was still the nuts, right?
King Jack?
Yeah.
Me too. Imagine antes at this level.
Yeah, I mean, at this level, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, a couple levels ago,
Negreanu's starting to build his stack, and it's happening.
No, you could think it's still the same speed, just with the change the structure with the.
Finally.
So, like, say this would be.
Finally, Phil
5
Laak
and 10 with the
has got a hand.
38,000.
38.
All in.
Wow. Wow, somebody's moving.
We got a race.
No, but I've seen Laak raise fold with this many big blinds before.
He has no cards. Just make sure he knows.
No, I'm just kind of rearranging my chips. I have no cards.
Well, wow, is Phil Laak considering passing this? I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because on the one hand, it's a big hand with, like, no big blinds. On the other hand, what is Benyamine re-raising him with? He knows he's Phil Laak.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Laak, if he calls here, I mean, I don't like this kind of call, but
because you're hoping the guy has ace king.
But he doesn't have a lot more chips. That's another factor here.
I have, but not in these kind of pots.
Well, the king, queen, ace nine.
I mean, I'm praying you have ace king. That's what I'm praying for.
He's getting laid about 2 to 1 on the call here. About 2 to 1, but not even 2 to 1 really. It's 120 more, and there's about 100 out there.
Ace king.
He called it.
Oh. 2 kings.
Wow.
So
he thought it was, what are you doing? Man, what are you doing?
I'm trying to survive.
Survive for what?
I'm trying to survive.
You deserve to lose for waiting that long.
Now everybody's making fun of him. Everybody's making fun of him for thinking about folding, but I'm not, because he's only against it. He can only beat one hand, ace king. But they're laughing because he only had 120 more, and they feel like you just have to put it in
Now
there.
put all in the pot. Put in a big happy pile, so it looks like there's something to win.
For the way this is going. It's like $1 million.
This is a big pot for you then. Yeah?
Now the algorithm is that the guy with the least stack wins. That's the algorithm. I don't know. Maybe there's a kink in the algorithm. My biorhythms. This is the moment to find out how my biorhythms are working right now. This is it.
I found out on the 10.
You know, with the queen 5 months.
600.
No.
When
He survived again. Oh my.
you have a feeling he's going to win this tournament,
I don't
you?
know. No, I don't have a feeling he's going to win
He
the
might.
tournament.
He's
Absolutely not.
Now they all know. I don't even know. I'm probably not even the sentimental favorite. He's right. I mean, I don't. You know, I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will. It was a nice run.
I know he's been great for this Premier League.
3, 5. Jack, 3, 5. That's a lot of out. Jack,
can't
3,
take it.
5. Think about it. Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's an ace, and
Missed
wow.
the beat to you. I said Jack 3, 5.
But now Phil has had a way of hitting like miraculous cards, so I think he's 22 to 1 underdog or something crazy like that, Jesse.
Reverse 1 up.
All right.
And it's over. Bye-bye, Phil Laak.
He had an amazing start in this Premier League. He set a record that
Take all the money.
can't imagine anybody breaking that. 3 heats, 3 matches, 3 wins.
Now wait a minute. One year I won my first 3,
That's
and
true.
then I won the 5th one too, so I won 4.
That's true.
But there are 8
3 out of 4.
players in these things, and 3 in a row is strong.
Well, the Premier League points leader first out on the final table. Benyamine now the chip leader with 493,000, still 5, and Safina's trailing with 278K.
After winning his first 3 matches, we've lost Phil Laak first off of our final table, which I know is very disappointing for you. The biorhythms just weren't with you today.
It's true. I couldn't figure out if I was on or off, and the queen 5, that was just brutal. I mean, on the turn, I said, well, if he calls here, he's probably got a flush, or maybe he's really slow playing a full house. But Luke Bubblegum, he was thinking, oh no, a guy with a flush there might raise to defend against me calling, you know, or getting there with a flush draw. But I don't know, something I just felt like I was beat. And on the river, I was like, oh, wow, he's going to bet. And I had already pre-programmed that I was beat on the turn. So I just folded that. And then it went downhill from there. And the other 5 guys, whenever, it was interesting because if somebody had a small stack, they would win. But I was exempt from this group. I wanted to be in that, like, club. I'm not big on being in clubs, but that was a club I wanted admittance to, but somehow I couldn't get in that club. And yeah, and then the 10s, it's got to be lunacy to consider folding there, but I kept trying to find a fold, you know, but it didn't happen. I called and that was that, yeah.
There was a race you couldn't win, and we're sorry to see you leave the Premier League. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thanks, yep, cheers. Don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. I'm running too good. Phil Laak is a man governed by 3 simple tenets: fun, freedom, and fulfillment. We could have danced a little dance. A little dance, a little Saturday Night Live. I recently was bit by a vampire, and now I have vampire read-like abilities. So no sense in trying to bluff me. I'm just going to go into your cranium, make a soul read, come out, know exactly what to do.
Day in the life of Phil Laak.
Put me on the bike, don't put me on the bike. Oh my lord, this is so sick.
If Phil Laak blows up, that'll make the cut.
I'm the worst. Wow, if I win this thing, it'll be so fat. I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will. That's what the game is selling, right? We're selling hope. Isn't that what it is?
You know you don't need to worry about me. You'll have your time.
I think I'll get you heads up.
You're having
I think I'm gonna get you heads up.
You're having your TV time. You're very smiley today. You don't even need makeup. Such a baby face. That's pretty cute. You know. And then when we'll go out later, we'll have a little milk together.
Sure. We'll see who can eat more.
Is Benyamine the man to beat right now?
Yes, well, I mean, I picked David Benyamine to win, so at the beginning, so I still think that he's. But I mean, he needs to make some better reads. He needs to make a few more better reads. David Benyamine does, to me.
How much you start the hand with, Roland?
I got this weird feeling about Daniel. He's just, he's golden.
I think that's a one.
You're gonna predict Daniel's gonna win?
No, I got a weird feeling about him.
285, 288.
285.
Roland opened, and Luke has ace-king, and Luke's going to re-raise him, and he's going to win the pot.
All in.
It's over.
Fold.
Now we got fireworks.
Your ace-king is good.
Ace-queen you lay down, what?
Ace-queen.
Shot.
Roland trying to make something happen.
Good hit.
Well, he raised with ace-deuce of diamonds. That's okay. You know, I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Well, guys,
Ditto.
Raise to 30,000. Fold.
And, you know, Negreanu has been so active from under the gun. Is anyone
Here
else going to
comes
notice
Roland.
it? Is it all in?
Yep. Maybe.
Is it big enough? It really is big enough, isn't it? Considering not what Negreanu has, but
Raise.
how often he's. I mean, they noticed it.
Got some fold equity there.
that's all in.
Hey, you can't say that.
There's no point in counting it. Everyone knows what that raise means.
Are you folding?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all in.
Oh, obviously.
Wow, Daniel just moved.
pair?
Queens.
No.
Oh, you got ace
All
king.
in.
I got a
duel.
pair.
Jacks.
Can you just fold that one time?
What's that?
Can you just fold the 9?
I don't fold. What, for 10,000 so I can move up like Laak?
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
Daniel's look, that's just the way Daniel thinks, and it turns out that he's
What's
a
in the
coin
middle
player.
This is the blinds.
Oh, there is the 9.
The fuck was that flop?
Oh, de Wolfe.
Queen 10.
Daniel just wins.
Need a
I
little
mean, I
runner,
can't
runner?
believe how many races he wins.
There it is.
It's
You got
unbelievable.
me good.
Fifth place, I believe, for the second year running in the Premier League. Roland de Wolfe
I'll take those.
enjoyed his game. Enjoyed his game at this final table.
So fucking sick, but as usual.
Daniel was just, I mean, he was really gambling there.
Roland de Wolfe has played every Premier League, but he's going to have to wait till next year to get that elusive Premier League title. Fifth place here on the final table. And look at Daniel Negreanu, in from the playoffs, now the leader, 651,000. But anything's game.
We lose Roland de Wolfe in 5th place here from our final table. It seemed like we just couldn't lose a player for ages, and then it got to the point where people are starting to gamble a little bit. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, when you get like 20 big blinds, everyone is willing to put their money in, and I had about an average stack, found ace jack, Daniel re-raised to put it in. Obviously it's both correct to call, and then I got flopped totally dead. So it's annoying again, 3rd final in a row where like, just like so sick. But at the same time, I felt I played really well today, and I haven't had like the cards run with me this week, so to make a decent final table finish is not too bad, and I had a great time. We made an amazing show.
Great, well thank you very much.
Thanks guys, see you next year.
How do we still get invited to these shows doing the same stuff every time?
I'm going to be, as ever, like the funniest guy on the table in the life and soul, so we'll just see what comes out of by way of poker, but we'll be a lot of laughs. We just seen the champion Hold'em player at work.
Wait, hold on a second. Best wishes on your retirement.
You've done great, buddy. Yeah, thank you. All the best players know when to quit at the top. I think there's always going to be a little bit of tension when me and Phil Hellmuth play on the same table, just because we're friends, but I love to tease him. The last time you won a 10K, I think Ronald Reagan was in the White House.
One of these days, you're going to work really hard. You're going to win another 2 or 3 bracelets, and you're going to be like a middleweight. I'm still going to be a heavyweight, and I'm still just going to go boom.
We're both heavyweights in our own way. Give me an example winners. But I'm just fucking ill about this. I think that if you don't play well, you're not gonna make it here. It's okay, boys. It's nothing to be scared of. So fucking sick, but as usual.
4 players left in this Premier League poker final. Stakes go up after the break.
I want to make a donkey call and hear it. I want you to just lay it on me. Like, what are you doing? How bad are you? No wonder you're washed up and never win anymore. I want all of it.
5. So
Welcome
16.
back. You can stretch your legs now at this final table. Just 4.
Maybe less.
2 of the favorites out. Look around, Phil. Daniel Negreanu stacking up chips. He's got a real chance.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel always plays excellent poker. I mean, he just has a proclivity to take, you know, races more often than I do. You know, and that's okay. I mean, you know, it turns out he was right. I mean, he was a favorite in that hand, so.
Raised to 45,000.
Safina down on, about 200,000 back.
How much is that?
He's picked some good spots to
Take
get
a
the
lot.
ace
200,
king.
yeah.
Re-raise. Fold.
Safina can't
Nice
call
to
it
win
off with
flips.
ace 5.
An easy pass, but yet he's not looking
50,
down at
70,
anything.
80.
He has to-
And then it goes 1, 2, 4.
Don't worry about
So
it.
it's like,
67. Fold.
if I win, I get the #1 spot back from Bill Ivy. Yeah. Second doesn't do it. No, second's not enough. It'd be close though.
You said yourself that it doesn't count when you pay 100K to play.
Still
These type of-
780,000 in prize money to dish out.
Yeah.
Luke in second. Safina's down to 10 BBs. One of them are in.
Raise. To 45,000. Fold.
And can Luke fold to his shove? Or should he? There's a math thing about it, isn't there?
Cool. Heads up.
Safina's gambling with him.
It's what you hate to have happen when you got
Yeah,
the dues,
when
right?
you have the ducks, you really don't want any action.
What are you going to do now, Luke? Yeah, Safina's got 160,000 left. Maybe he's playing a little stop and go.
Check.
Check. I don't know.
Well, Safina has an open ender here, and you know,
He doesn't have much to lose
Check.
by going for it.
no.
A lot of cards for Giovanni. 5, 8, 9, 10.
It's kind of become a big pot.
It already was a big
Check.
pot.
I guess I could bluff, but you remember the 6-2, huh? I got a pair. You got a pair?
Strike.
He's got it straight.
So sick.
That was guaranteed.
Yeah, and well,
Well,
Luke was thinking if I just bet 100,000 on the flop, I win it. That's what he was thinking.
I just think that Queen Jack hits his ranges so much.
Yeah.
And his ranges everything. His range, whatever he's got, he
8
hits.
to the queen.
Yeah.
8 to the king.
If you bet the flop, I fold, but time was
10 and 20.
Yeah, turn you re-raise all in. Obviously, I don't bet. No point in me bet the turn.
What Daniel's doing is he's doing a lot of min raising before the flop, little min raises, and they know that he doesn't always have it, but they're still kind of, you know, he's dangerous, so I mean, you never know when he is going to pick it up, so.
Raise to 50,000.
Daniel may shift with 7s here.
Oh, it's a cooler. It's a complete cooler, right?
Could be a cooler if Daniel plays it that way. If Daniel.
All in and a call.
Come on, let's win this tourney
Head
now.
sevens again.
All in and a call.
Come on now. Come on, dealer. How much? This is. Listen. This is $777 if there's no 7. If I win, for you, 777. If I win this pot, 777.
Okay. Stop teaching.
He's all right. He's a big guy. I just no black flop. That's all we need. No black. It's got to be a black 7. Who runs like that to lose? Kings v 7s. He's got 7s.
I've got
Daniel,
7s.
he's got me covered as well. It's
Yes.
such a big pot. It's for the tournament. Come on, just flop him dead. King, even though I don't really want a black flop.
Daniel is one of the luckiest guys, you know, on tour. Year after year, I've seen.
I can handle it. But I haven't made a mistake all tournament. How could it do this to me? Yeah, that's a good flop.
He makes me laugh. I can't help it.
Daniel, 8 or 9's really good for him.
Wow, this is Daniel's Premier League. $1 million in this pot. And for Luke Schwartz, the same.
Oh my God.
6 outs.
There's the 8.
A total of 6 outs. How can you do
Daniel
a
has
total of
4
6 fucking
9s
outs?
and 2 7s. 6 outs with 1 to come here.
Paint or really low? Ace, paint,
Is anybody in the world going to be surprised if a 9 or a 6?
I don't know. The place is going to go up in smoke.
Ace, paint low?
I mean, Luke deserves to win the pot, for sure. But
Who's got the vibe? Yeah! Full flush.
He dodged it. Daniel finally
no
missed.
one wanted me to win that one, did they?
Yeah, it's 534. 535.
Luke was the only guy in the room that cheered.
He was. But I'll tell you what, he cheered loud enough for everybody, didn't he?
He did.
For a whole section.
450.
And Negreanu.
I'm talking about, boys. This is my corner.
515?
This is my corner.
Oh, wow.
2, 4, 16.
Oh, I owe him 777. Nice hand for you.
Dealer's pretty happy too, huh?
Yeah, the dealer's happy.
Big pot for Luke Schwartz. He's over the $1 million mark. His full flush is named on the Premier League trophy. He's got more than double everyone else, and Negreanu and Safina in terrible shape.
There's plenty of play left. Really, it's like I double up, I'm second again, and then double up again and bust it. Boom, just like that.
See, now that's what I admire about Daniel.
It's true too.
Is the ability to say, all right, it's not over yet. There's plenty of play left. I can come back. I can win this.
Oh,
and
really?
just lay out a positive vision for himself, you know, rather than be sulking and saying, man, I wish I went to play the 7s.
All in.
Fold.
Fold.
You could probably look at that hand and say J.C. Tran
Bring it down.
never would have played
Fold,
that hand
fold.
like that. Right?
I don't think he would have. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I don't think I would have.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have played it like that, J. Hill. Probably, you know, the Premier League might be split down the middle like that.
Might be split right down the middle. I mean, a lot of the young internet kids think that, you know, it's more standard to just ship with 7s.
Oh, yeah. Timoshenko wouldn't have even thought so long. You know, Phil, there has been this pattern. I mean, it's not just at the final table. It's through every heat that Negreanu's been in. He's built up a stack. And
115,
and just
120,
dusted
131
it.
is the count.
You know?
131?
All in.
131.
Benyamine's got about 460. Do you call here? Do you re-raise to isolate?
I would never re-raise with the 5s. But the call is fine. I mean, it's a little loose, but I mean, what are you going to do?
How much you got behind?
Yeah, this is what Luke is asking. Is it an opportunity here?
Maybe. I mean, maybe Luke moves in and.
About 400 behind you.
I would like 350 total.
Guess it's a fold, but I should probably call and check it down.
Do you have an ace?
You're right,
King
Phil.
nine.
That's what he's considering.
I don't mind him calling and checking.
2 5s?
I should have called with the King 9 of hearts.
Really?
How donk
Oh,
am
I'm
I?
in good shape.
For
I win.
100 more.
Nice. Okay.
He could have
I didn't
called
know I
with
was
the
going to
King
win the
9
pot
of
just like
hearts.
that.
With $1 million in
131,
chips,
right?
it's a
No,
chance
I
to
had King
take
9 of
Daniel
hearts, but
out.
I thought, I just wanted to think.
What did you have, King 9? You would have called me if
King
you
9
folded,
of
right?
hearts. Yeah, I called.
Yeah.
I should have called anyway. King 9 of hearts.
There's the ace.
Not much
No,
now.
not much. I saved some chips. Oh, it would matter with my flush draw and gut shot. Don't bring it.
292,000, baby.
Oh, 131.
He's like nearly second place.
Coin flip? Yeah, he said I win one. I'm in
came.
second place.
I mean,
Only thing now is everyone got similar
you know,
kind of.
Well,
he knows how to do it.
back in action.
131.
You would have handled kings.
What?
You would have handled kings.
Easily.
No.
Fold. Fold.
How much you playing now?
Well, I had 131.
Okay, I'm in raise.
Will you?
Raise to
Let me look.
40,000.
Now Daniel may
You
ship
did
you.
what?
Min raise.
You know what I'm gonna do to you? You know I'm gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
You don't care, right?
Okay.
All right, I'm all in.
All in.
Heater.
Should have just shoved, I suppose.
King 10.
Should have just shoved, right?
It wouldn't matter.
You would snap it anyway, right?
I wouldn't snap it. I'd be sick, but I'd have to call you.
What do you have?
2 4s.
I wonder if he's being honest.
You got, huh?
Not for sure. Fold.
Well, I know you can't. You're not going to re-raise me all in with nothing, though.
I had fun when you were steaming. I actually am glad you're still here for a week because I want to see one more time. I want to get you some pain head up. Where I want to make a donkey call and hear it. I want you to just lay in on me. Like, what are you doing? How bad are you? No wonder you're washed up and never win anymore. I want all of it. I want the whole freaking steam out of the ears.
Who are you? It's good.
Fold. Fold.
I got 340 again.
You say all in?
All in. Fold.
Yeah, queen 9.
I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of all-ins going on here, man.
What else you got? What else is there?
Yeah, I mean, it's time. I mean,
Why do you think it's bad? Oh, if you jam, then I have like a 6th decision.
You have to fold
I
as
know
well.
I'm ahead, but so what, right? Or I don't
Luke
know.
does care a lot. There's no question about that.
Cool.
Limp.
Do you know what Isaac Caxton would say about limp?
Cool. Option.
Isaac would flip.
He would flip.
Too short to limp, right?
Yeah.
wow, that's interesting.
I don't know if he would. He would
And
kind
it
of
works,
say.
right? I got a flop and I don't have anything. So maybe
Wow.
Good, that's good.
Daniel limps with queen 5. Benyamine limps with king 9. Safina with ace deuce.
Wow, Daniel limping from the button, huh?
Yeah, with queen 5 suited.
Well, he got what he wanted, which is a complete cooler.
Oh my God! And Benyamine with kings and 9s. All the money's going in here. I'll tell you that much.
And like Daniel has to be willing to stack off here, and so does David, right?
Check.
Oh well, Daniel's not going to get away from it. I'll tell you that much.
40,000.
You're having a little look. Benyamine is
Benyamine
so
knows he has the nuts here. I mean, he
Right.
just, you know, he has to decide how he wants to play it. And I mean, he's, you know, I can't imagine him just calling. It's just too dangerous. A club, a 10, or a jack are all kind of scare cards for him. I
right.
mean,
And what do you do on the turn if it comes to play? So you just get it in, right?
Raise. To a total of 120,000.
I'm all in.
All in.
Let's go. Let's spin. Who's
what
the favorite?
a pot here.
got
Look
pair
at the numbers.
and
I think
flush
that
draw.
David's in pretty good shape here.
Oh, you got 2 pair? Damn. He's got 2 pair.
win this? Is it the same?
I don't know. I think he's got me. I don't know.
Oh, he has me.
He's got 2 pairs, so I thought I had more outs, but I just need a queen or a club. Queen or a club.
See, that's why you shouldn't limp with this hand.
If a king or 9 comes off, it's just
Look at this
completely
flop.
over.
I know,
Good luck, sir. I know I don't mean it really, but I mean it a little.
Clubs it is.
I think a queen might come. That's it.
Whoa!
And it's
Wow.
over. I mean,
I
first
did
card,
not
boom,
expect the
done.
king on the turn.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much you got?
He's got a
I
lot.
think I'm close to done.
How much
I
you
missed
got?
anything.
And I don't know. Negreanu limped. He limped in on the button
And
to
if
start that.
Safina just moves in with the ace deuce there before the flop, none of this happens.
Right.
332,000.
I got 250.
That's it.
275,
Negreanu out in
280.
fourth.
He's got me. I got 292.
He's had a heck of a
man.
Premier League ride, and you know, Phil, you got to say, towards the end of the last match, the heads up, this final table, he brought his game in.
Yeah,
he brought
Daniel's
his game
a great
on.
player, and Daniel has
Jeez.
like 2nd place on the all-time money list. And
Yeah.
he told
Well, no, it wasn't
he was
as many
saying
as
that
it
if he
looked like.
wins it, he would have moved up to 1st place in the all-time money list. The guy's just a phenomenal player.
Thanks,
He
bud.
reads
Thanks. I'm gonna go
people
pee real
well,
quick.
and you know, I mean, I thought he made a misstep with the 7s, but he played great poker for 2 days.
You might have it.
Big up and down night for Daniel Negreanu as he takes fourth place with the 3 to the left. Look at these chip counts. Luke Schwartz 940. Benyamine is making his move, and Safina down to 296,000.
Well, on a flop like that, all the money was certainly going in, and we say goodbye to Daniel in fourth. The Premier League has certainly been very up and down for you. How's it been for you overall, though? What's your general feeling about the standard of play?
You know, it was good. It was really tough. As you noticed, in the early stages, nobody was going out. You know, in typical tournaments, people go broke, and you know, nobody wanted to leave. And then, you know, the blinds get high, so you have to start getting more active, and your chips are going to go like this. And there's a lot of the plays that are basically cut and dry. Yeah. You know, like the hand me and David. I've got queens in a flush draw. He's got kings and nines. Let's get it in. Let's, you know, roll the dice, as they say.
It's an interesting dynamic on the table now. We've got the 3 players. In the middle is, of course, our online qualifier. Should we count him out at this point, or is he going to be waiting to go heads up with one of them?
Well, if you ever watched the tournament before, you should learn one lesson. You never count anyone out. He's really short on chips, but if he doubles up, he won't be quite as short. And if he does it again, all of a sudden he's got chips. So he's obviously got a big hill to climb because he's up against 2 formidable opponents who are not going to make silly mistakes. Yeah. So I would, if I was going to give him advice, I would say just get super aggressive, really aggressive.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
All right, you got it.
Kid MCD bringing it to you live from the M Casino. Okay, let's play poker. You know, winning the Premier League would obviously be a good thing. There's a few bucks that I'd win. Eat some of that! Sushi guy, just chopping it up. It's all about the points, baby. When I come into something like this, I feel like one of the favorites. We've seen a lot of you punks come and go, see? Turn an ace to end this race, yo. You get the joke? Because he's making fun of you there.
Well, the message I would give the players today is don't bring the B game because it's not going to work.
Round 3, ding, ding, ding. Every tournament should be like this.
The pressure is on the remaining 3 players as we reach the conclusion of Premier League 4.
Fucking thought I had King Jack on my or something.
Who is the best of the best in poker? We'll find out as the final of Premier League Poker continues.
Pressure is on. And Benyamine doesn't know pressure. Luke's got his own way of dealing with it. But for Giovanni Safina, what a spot. And what tension. And how well he's handled it. He's got trouble on his right and danger on his left. Rocks all around, Phil. But maybe he wants to fold him.
Raise to 50,000.
Big hand for Luke.
Cool.
And Schwartz just calling.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, Schwartz had a chance just to win the pot before the flop.
But obviously, he doesn't want to do the same thing, get too much in. He doesn't think that Giovanni's raise folding here,
Check.
that sort of idea.
Check.
On check, check.
Yeah, it was a good check on Luke's part. I mean, take the free pop out of the 10 bus. Giovanni's drawn dead with the 10. Gianni might be able to man up and take a little pop at this, a little bet here now.
It's a lot of courage. He'll win it if he does,
Check.
won't he?
Check.
Oof. 10, queen, king. 7s are good.
40,000.
Funny bet.
It was a very funny bet. Why was he betting with the 7 there? I don't
2
get
pair.
it.
Ace 2 pair.
No.
Low 2 pair.
7 and 8.
7.
8, 7 pair, 7 8.
That's 1 pair.
7 8.
7 9.
No, 7 8.
He says
Pair
2
7.
Pair 7s.
Okay.
Luke's like, why didn't I
King, queen
re-raise with
suited.
king, queen suited?
I still can't figure it out.
I mean, it was kind of weird that he didn't raise there, I mean. But here's Giovanni should never have told them what he had, because now that they know he'll raise with 7, 8, they're going to just start bombing him because he's the short stack.
All in.
Wow, that was weird.
Fold, fold.
Wow, he just shipped it with 7s.
And the blinds go up to 20 and 40,000.
Yeah, with the blinds 20, 40,000, I understand the ship more.
I mean, you look at these stats, obviously, now it's gotten kind of weird, but Benyamine has been so consistent. When you consider that 40% V chip, over 126 hands. They were 6-handed for a lot of time. He plays pots.
60K profit. Is it?
Well, it's Luke Schwartz, it's David Benyamine, and I know it's unlikely, Phil, but look at the spot Giovanni Safina is in. He had to beat 16 online qualifier after getting through on the internet just to get into the Premier League, come through 4 matches. He's done that, got to the final table, and I know he's short-stacked, but what a dream he is living.
He really is. I mean, you know, he's between a rock and a hard place. So let's see how Benyamine reacts with an ace here. I mean, he's checking. He's just playing, you know, he's just...
He's, you know, he said before, I'm going to have that trap set for you, Luke Schwartz. Well, Luke's got the trap now, but...
30,000.
And it... Well, I'll tell you what, ace high don't look so bad, does it?
Oh, I mean, he had to call. I mean, you know, ace would be just disastrous for David here. Oh my God, how good is Luke running?
Wow, is there any way he could find a check here? How sick would that be?
Check would be pretty amazing.
You could never put Benyamine on an ace. How can you check?
You really can't check here. Although, if you put him on 6-8, you could check.
What does Luke put him on? Does Luke put him on a 5?
75,000.
He's never getting away from that. David Benyamine. That was pretty sick.
That was just so sick. I mean,
although, you know, he may have been calling with ace high as well, Phil.
probably not. I mean, it's one thing to call. I mean, David Benyamine's a player. It's one thing to make the ace high call one time, and then it's another thing to make it the second time.
Nearly $1 million. Full flush. Can he take the Premier League title? He's been boasting it. He's been promising it. He can definitely talk the talk. So far, he has walked the walk.
I wonder if David feels like he played that hand badly. You know, I wonder if he feels like, you know what, I should have just raised before the flop and taken it down.
This is opportunity for Benyamine. This is an...
Raise?
It's like a min raise, I think.
Well, it's over.
70,000.
I mean, you know.
Pass. Pass.
I'd like to see David not show his hand here. Just fold it face down. Don't show some king thing, you know. I mean, let's... Good, I'm glad he didn't show it. Would have been a nice time for David to limp in with the kings.
Yeah, well.
Safina, king 9 suited on the button.
That's plenty.
You shipped it.
You see that hand, king 9 of diamonds, and you shudder, Phil. I know.
I know.
I know how. I know it hurts, but
I
you
know,
gotta
it
ship
does
it.
hurt.
You gotta
Yeah,
ship it.
ship it. Well, I didn't have to ship it, but that's another discussion. I should have been able to read Daniel better that hand, and I didn't, and no excuses.
It's the big money places. $100, $200, $400,000 and the trophy. And it's a big trophy in poker. Yuha Helpy,
Raise.
Andy Black, JC Tran. Those are the names on it so far.
80,000 total.
One of these three will have their name on it in the future. This is action.
David Benyamine has been waiting a long time to trap Luke in a pot here, and Luke has a little of the best of it right now, but, you know.
Who flops good?
Yeah. Or who bets good, one of the two.
Check. Check.
Check, check. There's 160K in this pot.
Check. Check.
Well, they're playing with kid gloves here.
Check.
Ace high's good. Will it get there? It did.
David's just not interested in stealing any pots. I mean, he's just, you know, he's but you know, I mean, there's some chance that Queen 10 high is good, and maybe that's what he was thinking. He was happy to check it down.
And while it goes on, if Benyamine doesn't balance the waiting for Giovanni and keeping himself in it, Schwartz could run away with this. You don't want to knock yourself out of the tournament by moving up the ladder, do you?
Pass. All in.
I'll take you on, he says. Standard, I guess. I mean, Benyamine's stack is a lot closer to Giovanni's than it is to Luke Schwartz's right now.
That's true.
He's not a man.
I understand what David's going through. I mean, I understand it. I mean, he's trying. He just wants to win one big pot from Luke, and then he can step up the pressure, you know. And that's. But he's waited a long time to win one big pot from Luke, and he finally hit an ace, and and Luke had 3 sevens. That
just
hand,
came all wrong.
I mean, yeah.
Giovanni went all in with King Deuce in this spot, and the quick call from Luke.
Oh, I fucking thought I had King Jack on my...
What? He misread his hand?
I was very surprised to see him call 300,000 with a King 3 suited.
I made a misread. I thought I had King Jack.
King Jack? How does a 3 look like a Jack?
I don't know, but he thought he had King Jack, and he doesn't, and he's a solid 2-to-1 underdog.
Probably close anyway.
Well, this is massive for Giovanni Safina. Misread or not, Phil, this could be like a $200,000 error. That's changed nothing.
Well, you know, I think Luke will feel better about it if King Jack loses too. You know, I mean, he'll be like, all right, it didn't matter. King Jack would have lost. You know what I'm saying?
Can't even hit it straight.
Just an ace and it's over. I mean, you know, a 7 and Safina's in great shape.
That was so donk. It's unbelievable.
Well, there's the King Jack
and
down.
if he had King Jack, he would be ahead right now. So that
I
must
was painting
make him
it wasn't
sick.
King. Marvelous.
That must be sick. Now he's really feeling sick because King Jack would have probably won the spot unless an ace comes.
I mean, this is going to open this tournament up. Yeah, it's a 3. Oh, it's a 3. Oh, Giovanni Safina. And Phil, this Italian qualifier, Schwartz is home and dry nearly. But you know what? What a week! What a tournament!
After qualifying for a tiny amount online to beating all the other online qualifiers here to coming 3rd in the final table of the Premier League, you must feel very good about your run.
Il sogno oggi è finito.
The dream is already over.
Ma sono felice, stanco,
I'm
ma
tired
felice.
but happy.
È stata
It's
un'esperienza
been a fantastic
fantastica.
experience. Today I played well, very well actually. I didn't get many good hands, but when I got to the showdown, I started on top with Laak, but ended up below him. Anyway, it's been a terrific experience, from qualifier to here, and to come 3rd, it's a dream, a dream.
E arrivare terzo è un sogno, sì, direi che è un sogno. Ci sono anch'io per il
Count
tavolo
me in for the
finale,
final table.
aspettatemi.
Wait for me, I'm on my way.
We get Giovanni rocking.
Questa esperienza rimarrà nei
This experience will always be part of my memories, because whether it goes well or not for me, it's already been a success to have won both the satellite and the heats, and to have come this far.
Qui già per me è un successo essere arrivati qui.
Come on, Giovanni. Let's see if you can own me again.
One time, only.
How did you do that?
This experience is something only a few can dream of.
Just stay away from me now, all right?
Only 2 players remain at this final table, David Benyamine and Luke Full Flush Schwartz. Who will be champion? Find out after the break when they go head-to-head.
Benyamine, I said at the beginning of the tournament he's got loads of hold'em leaks. He proved it to me throughout the tournament, but he's been hitting, so everyone probably thinks he's a genius, but I know where his leaks are. I'm going to get into him.
I don't know how Luke is going to handle himself at the table. I will learn every minute playing with him. It's still new for me. I only played a few hours with him. It's true that he's been a character so far, and he has some impulse that I don't know if he's just making a show or if he's really, nervous at that moment.
I'm the best heads-up player in the world, so I want the 400k. I wouldn't mind the little glass trophy. And I'll be like Feldman, I'll put it up on my wall, I'll be like, look at my trophy.
I'll try to make it hard for him.
Welcome back. We've reached the heads-up stages for the final of the Party Poker Premier League 4. Luke Schwartz is our chip leader. Let's get the cards in the air.
Why? You think I'm good?
Yeah, I think you're good.
You talk shit about me.
I know, but I talk shit about everyone. That's just part of my...
It's been just over a year since the myth of Full Flush Luke Schwartz came out on the internet. A lot of mouth, and people said, yeah, but what have you won? What titles? Well, Phil, if he can get through David Benyamine, Luke Schwartz is going to have that title. I mean, he'll have seen off the likes of yourself, Negreanu, David Benyamine, and he's a step away from sort of making his first stamp in the poker world.
Good luck.
Now, you look at the heads up, obviously, Luke, the big chip lead. I mean, what do the stats mean as far as how the play's going to go?
Well, I think David Benyamine, first of all, he wasn't playing to make the final two. He was playing to win. And David has an extraordinary amount of real-world experience. And so that's got to help him a lot. He doesn't finish second very often. Now, on the other hand, Luke, you know, is allegedly a great online heads-up player, and he's played a ton of hands. So, but this is different. This is, you know, this is for a title, staring each other down. Luke's very emotional. That may serve him well. It may get him in trouble, but he's not going to be able to run over David, I don't think, as much as he was before.
Raise.
And if he doesn't make big raises,
min raise.
Yeah, I mean, Benyamine is going to play flops, isn't he? Because that's what he does. And here comes Benyamine. Yeah, he don't mind. He don't mind. He's DB.
Yeah, min raise.
This is what he you min raise
but,
him.
I mean, 9 high and the tournament's over, basically. I mean, you know.
Maybe these two guys have already met at some point in the online world, and maybe not. One thing's for sure, they never met for a title like this.
45.
45,000.
Now the game begins.
Pass.
Yep, and David has to, you know, David can't just call and then fold. I mean, he has to expect. Right now, he has to expect that full flush is just going to c-bet. I mean, you know, c-bet meaning a continuation bet, meaning he's going to bet after every time he raises, he's going to fire at the flop. And David Benyamine has to use that against him, is what he has to do. I mean, he can't, you know.
And if there is a difference, you know, aside from the experience and all that, Luke does not have that much live experience, and you just expect that as a young guy, he's going to be giving off tells.
Well, I mean, and David limped in with King Jack, and you know, and
total.
full flush made a big raise with 6 deuce.
Do you ship it?
I mean, he could. You know, I mean, he's going to have to make a decision, but if he does ship it, he's going to be pretty happy.
Call.
Wow, he's just called, and this pot, like 200K. David's only got 400K back, Phil.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't ship it. He would have been in great shape, but
jeez, what a card! What a flop! Look at that flop!
Pretty sick.
Check.
Becomes a king now.
$100,000. Pass.
Pretty sick. I don't think David has any idea that Luke is messing around with 6 deuce every hand.
No.
I mean, you know, and I'll tell you something. To be fair, David had Luke trapped there. I mean, he had King Jack. There are a lot of flops where David's going to play.
Right.
And he ran into one where Luke just flopped gin. I mean, it's...
But he was giving him credit for the ace the whole time, wasn't he?
He did. He really did. I mean, David's going to have to step up and start playing poker, or this is going to be over, because Luke is just going to raise every pot.
And maybe Schwartz's name is on the trophy.
All in.
Now he's going for the hammer. Well, you got to call with that, don't you?
Cool.
He's in, and Benyamine in an unbelievable spot to double up.
Ooh.
This is gonna open the game wide. Schwartz has only got $1 million back.
Of course, I'm not a very big favorite. Of course, I'm not.
I think I'm winning it though. I think I've won it.
I think it's gonna come 3 diamonds with a 7.
I think I've won it. It doesn't even
telling
matter.
you.
I tell you what, you win this 1,000. 1,000.
7 from heaven. And you know what the dealer wants.
I think, you know what, I think David Benyamine's going to win the spot, and I think he's going to have a lot of chips, and I think that they're going to play for a while. Certainly
7.
Schwartz doesn't
Lucky
work.
7.
7.
Cool. Lucky split pots or not? Lucky 2. Lucky 2 to...
I'm not going for the split yet.
2.
I'm not going
2 to split.
Yeah.
10 to end.
Yeah, 10 it's over. I think David, you know, obviously Diamond's a great card too.
All right.
What splits now? Nothing. 2 outs. Thanks. I didn't know that. I couldn't read the board because I don't know that when he's got flush draw, I can't hit my 7. But I appreciate when the rail bird tells me that. So
I didn't
put
see
2
that.
ups.
Wow, he's picking on the audience.
I had no idea.
Creating a little negative energy there.
Black 7?
Clubs, 7 of spades.
3 diamond, I thought it would be a 7.
And Phil, has that changed the momentum completely?
Well, first of all, David knows that he's shipping with King 7. I mean, basically, Lucas raised every pot they've played. And David, I don't know if he's going to continue to just let him run him over. I think David's probably thinking, I'm back in this, and I can't just fold every hand anymore.
That was a sick pot. Do you want to do 350, 250 now? Do you want to do 350, 250 now?
Unless we even made it, but I don't know. I don't think. It's too small.
Luke tried to offer a deal, and David Benyamine's like, no, we're playing for 400 and 200.
Gotta make it to the break.
When's the break?
I don't know if there's any. Keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Game is on.
Check.
Call check.
And Benyamine, he's feeling the flow.
Wow, another terrific flop for
Check.
Schwartz
Check.
here. David checked right behind him.
Yeah.
Nice check. Nicely done there. He gets a free straight card, and it's there. Oh, my God.
40,000.
This is
Call.
over.
Well,
Right.
no, I mean, David just called him. I mean, now if the 3 comes, it's over. Oh, my God in heaven. That is unbelievable.
80,000.
And how often? I mean, you have to raise here, right?
David
you have
has
to raise.
He has to raise. He just can't give him a flush.
Wow, Schwartz is going to end up. He's going to end up short stacked. How big's David going to go?
How'd you hit a flush?
I didn't.
You did. Why are you lying?
On my life, I don't have a flush.
I know you've got a flush, but just because you're saying I don't have a flush doesn't make me think, oh,
Total.
how much more?
170 more.
That's a raise.
I've got.
He's got to think this through.
Wait, you could have. You call on the 4-8. You got a flush?
Oh yeah, I had no flush.
Cool. I got a straight. I got a call. I call. You got a flush? Oh.
And
Now-
Phil, I think.
Now, I will say this. David Benyamine, if he would have raised like 50, 60,000 on the turn, may have actually busted Schwartz here.
So sick. What kind of cooler does this guy want?
That was a cooler. And Luke has got to keep his head together, Phil. He's
pair,
unraveling,
then
isn't
I
he?
turned the top pair and open-ended, and then I rivered a straight.
Well, he got
It's too
really,
sick.
really negative about. He got
And he had a
really,
better
really
straight.
negative at that
It's too
rail
sick.
bird, and he sat right down and got it coolered again. And so there is something when you get emotional. When you're an emotional person, you get negative. It just doesn't seem to ever work.
He's
when you
got
get negative.
He's got to get himself together. He's still got 750,000. I mean, it's plenty of chips.
I just wonder how much money David would have. I mean, if he raises on the 4th street. But you know
Raise,
what?
min.
I don't blame him for playing that way.
Raise 60,000.
And Benyamine's he's taking flops. He's
David
playing
has him
real
just
passive.
dead here. If it comes
Yeah.
queen high,
I mean,
it could be bye-bye Schwartz.
he's
queen high
eating
here.
him up. It's like Schwartz is on tilt. Benyamine, he hasn't had a hair out of place since the Premier Leagues began.
There's the queen, and it could be bye-bye to Schwartz here. He's going to need some kind of miracle deuce here.
They could stack off right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
70,000.
David just has to find the raise here.
Wow. He's carving him up here. He's carving him up. Full flush has come this far.
500, 600, 600, 620.
Is Benyamine worried about his kicker?
Well, I mean, he's been, you know, he's been raising a lot of pots, Luke has, and this is one of those hands where David, you know, probably has to raise it, you know? He probably has to raise it. Too many draws out there, you know?
Can't get scared about your kicker now?
No, you just have to play it, I mean.
And how can Luke pass?
Luke could pass, but I mean, it's just not the internet style. It's not the young players, you know, position to pass with the deuce kicker. I mean, with the top pair here. You know?
All of a sudden, I mean, David Benyamine's got the Premier League title
in his lap. If he just raises, he's got the Premier League title.
Raise.
Could be over.
210,000 total.
This is a big moment for Schwartz. He's got to find a sixth sense. He's got to find.
He has to find a way to get away from top pair here. The problem is there's straight draws and flush draws, and
I'm all in.
All in.
He's shipped, and Benyamine has not yet said call. He might be worried about his kicker.
He might be. I mean, if David Benyamine calls here, you know, it's over though. I mean, I don't know how he can fold.
Wow, he's made this raise here to pass? Has he made this raise to pass?
If David finds a call here, I think he's going to be the Premier League champion. David has to be thinking back in his mind when he got check raised with 2 jacks with a king on board the other day. You know?
How much more?
He's going to take his time with this, Phil. And I mean, what does it come down to? If he
right now, Luke thinks he has the best hand. By the way, I mean, he thinks he has the best hand.
And if Benyamine reads that, you know, is he going to pass?
He would have called by now. So sick though.
See, Luke honestly thinks he has the best hand, but I mean, he just doesn't have enough real-world experience.
Got to allow last him a little bit.
All he has to do is say one word.
Call, and he's champion.
He's just staring at the board. He's just thinking. He's just trying to put Luke on a hand. And I mean, you're saying to yourself, if Luke has the queen, I don't ever have him beat, right? It's not queen 4. It's not queen 6. It's just not.
You raised all in pre-flop.
Is it?
I raised.
Luke thinks he has the best hand. David might pick up on that and make some laydown that would.
Has he called?
480 more.
Thing is, if Benyamine passes here, Phil, he's still got 900K. That's like half the chips. Play it.
I mean, if he passes here, I mean, I almost wouldn't blame him. He just doesn't know who he's playing against. I mean, Luke is playing just way too aggressively.
This is it. This is
David has his chance to win. He has to be thinking.
His chance
David
to win.
has to call here. He has to be thinking back to when Luke played the jacks against him.
Yes, I got a queen. I've got the best hand. You got 5-6. You got a flush draw, or you got
queen.
Oh, why'd you slow roll? Such an easy call. Such an easy call.
Oh, really?
20 big blind, of course. Obviously.
You mini raise. I mean, it's not easy for you to have a baby queen.
I know, but it's still
you
an
have
easy
flush draw
call.
or big queen.
Still an easy call, top pair. We're playing 20 big blinds, 30 big blinds deep. I can still split. 1,000 for the win. No, 500 for the split, 1,000 for the win.
Make it worthwhile.
All right, 2,000 for the win, 1,000 for the split.
Schwartz has come this far, but Benyamine's outlasted him.
Ready.
Just not the deuce he's thinking, and Luke is thinking just 1, 2.
It's over with an 8. I mean, it's just over.
Yeah. 4 wouldn't be bad.
4 or 6. 4, 6, 2. 6 to 2 is a good card. All 6, 4, 3, 2, ace. 6, 4, 3, 2,
Ian
ace.
Fraser there, the rail crowded around.
It's a 7.
No
and
outs.
David Benyamine is going to win the
There's no
Premier
splits.
League
There's no
unless
splits.
a deuce comes. It's over unless a deuce comes on the river.
You're right.
He's done it.
And David Benyamine is the Premier
has
League
done it.
champion.
And
Wow.
Luke
Well
Schwartz,
done.
this has been a huge tournament for him. Full flush is going to be a poker star. But for David Benyamine, he is a star and the champion, Phil.
The Premier League champion for season 4 is David Benyamine. First of all, congratulations. It's a pretty tough field to win through. How does it feel?
It feels good. It always feels good to win. Tough or not tough, it's always really tough.
Well, it's a very tough field, and case in point, Luke Schwartz, who was amazing to watch. Do you feel you played your A game here for the whole tournament?
I feel I didn't really make any mistakes all tournament. Really disappointed not to win heads up. I went in with a 2-1 lead. I grinded him down a little bit. Then King 10, King 7, we were about even. And then Queen 2. It's a cooler top pair in the tournament. You've both got 25 big blinds. What can I do? So, whatever.
Well played. Now, is there any point in today where you thought that it might be getting away from you, where you thought you might not get this trophy?
You should ask me the question differently. You should ask me, was there any point where I thought I was going to win? Because I never really think that I'm going to win or not. I'm not seeing it this way. I'm just trying to do whatever seems right to me. I was disappointed in some of the decisions I made today, and I still won. And some other days I'm not disappointed at all. I'm happy, and I lose 6. So it's very unpredictable, the result.
Well, your decisions were certainly right, and that's why we have Eddie Hearn, the managing director of Matchroom Sports, coming to bring you a trophy.
Good.
Unlucky, Luke. Well done. David, back in tournament poker. Premier League 4 champion. Well done.
It's been a fantastic lineup for season 4 of the Premier League, and David Benyamine is a worthy champion.
12 of the world's greatest players began this Premier League journey, but it is Luke Full Flush Schwartz who takes second place.
It's bubblegum Schwartz. He's supposed to be chewing gum.
It's always fun to wind people up and rustle their feathers and stuff.
Your little fool's good. Ooh, you would call any bet.
God might deliver a queen now.
Round. You never know.
Like that. In your eye, David Benyamine, you arrogant guy. Fucking think you can angle me. You just got so pwned, it's a joke. I really don't care if I come out and last. It's not a big deal to me. Like, I win millions of dollars online. There's so much mine. Like, I'm so calm. I don't even care about this.
Oh, I hate poker so much.
Oh,
sick.
Fuck it.
No, too fucking sick.
I didn't mean to kick that. Oh, watch out.
Okay.
Were you stressed out a little bit?
My heart was going about 1,000 miles an hour. So dumb. Got JC out, and that is what I'm talking about.
That's what you were
why'd you slow roll? Such an easy call. Enough.
Our champion is David Benyamine. He beat 11 of the world's greatest players, and tonight, the Frenchman is the star of the Premier League.
I don't know if you realize, but I just created excitement in your life.
It would mean a lot to win, you know. It always does.
Is that what you call having fun?
Well, I have the competition in me. I've always been very competitive.
Oh my God.
If I have a message for the players, I'm going to tell them to try to be as lucky as me or more, because they're going to need that.
That made me feel more special. Thanks, guys.
That's pretty cute.
I love this man. He might just take me down, but I still love him. Have some very good trap coming up for you. You have the eye of the panda.
The eye of the panda.
You're having some time. You're very smiley today. You don't even need makeup, such a baby face.
Of course, it's always a great feeling to win, and I can't wait for that feeling again.